Hello everyone, this is Kalila from Kalila's Homes, bringing you another video on how to make a blackberry cobbler. Now this is something that my grandmother used to make. We used to go outside and pick blackberries for her to make a blackberry cobbler. And I tell you, it was so good I could eat the whole cobbler. However, I knew I couldn't. And unfortunately, we let our grandparents and our parents take all these good recipes that they used to make for us, and we didn't get that information or write it down. This is what I am going to try to make the way that she did it. So I hope that you enjoy this video. So what we're going to start off with the ingredients. First, I'm using vanilla extract. I have my sugar here. Of course, you need your blackberries. You can do frozen or fresh. I got the fresh one from our little farmer's market. And you could use cornstarch. Some people prefer to use flour. And I'm using cornstarch. I use 2 tablespoons, and I'm going to mix that with a little water to dissolve it. And I have 1 stick of butter, melted butter, as a matter of fact, to put in there. And I have the ready-made pie crust that I'm going to be using. I have 1 that I'm going to use for the bottom, and 1 I'm going to put a little crust inside the mixture of the blackberries as well. And let's see what else. You don't need a lot to do this blackberry dumpling. And what I have here is a fresh lemon. I can put some lemon juice in there as well. Now I have put in a cup of water, and I'm going to heat the water. And like I said, I'm just going to put a little bit of water in mixture in here just to dissolve the cornstarch so it doesn't cake up when I pour it in there. I'm going to go ahead and put the blackberries in here. And what some people do, they sort of mash up some of them so they won't be all hard. Well, they're not going to be hard once they get in here and start cooking. So I'm going to put them in the water. And like I said, I use a cup of water. I might have to put more just so that it'll cover just the top of it. So I'm going to put a little more water in there to cover the top of it and bring it to a boil. As you can see, I'm going to bring it to a boil, let it boil. I got my stove turned on medium to high. And in the meantime, while this is on the stove boiling, I'm going to add 1 1/2 cup of sugar. So that's 1. And I'm just going to add another 1/2 cup of sugar. You can go ahead and just mix this together. And I'm one of these people, I like to go ahead and mix everything together and get it going. I'm going to stir this. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I added my sugar. And I'm going to stir this together and let it come to a boil. And in the meantime, if you want to, you can go ahead and add everything together, because that's what I do. My cornstarch. And like I said, you can use flour or you can use cornstarch. Now, some people just put the cornstarch in there, they don't mix it with water. And I've done that with the peach cobbler, and it dissolves. As long as you're stirring it, it'll dissolve really well. So we're gonna let this come to a boil. In the meantime, while that's doing that, I have put my oven on 350 degrees, and we're gonna bake for 40 minutes. And I'm going I already took butter and I buttered my dish that I'm gonna prepare the Blackberry Cobbler in. And what I'm gonna start doing now, I'm going to take the dish. I'm going to take the dish, and what I do, I use a glass one. You could use a pan one. It depends on what size, how much you're making. Now, my blackberries here is, I use 4 cups of blackberries, okay? And like I said, you can use the fresh one or you can use the frozen one. I'm just going to cut the crust in little slices. At this point, I added a little bit of salt to the blackberries just to take away a little bit of that sweetness. And then I add a stick of butter to the blackberry as well. Don't want this splash in my face, so I put it the other way. And you can add more sugar, whatever to your liking. And what I'm going to do is put this down in there. Okay. And you can always add more, if you want to, the pie crust, ready-made pie crust. You can add more in there if you want to give it a little flavor. A little bit more crusty flavor, cobbler taste. It's up to you. And, I don't like to waste it, so I'm just putting little pieces in there to make it just like a cobbler. I might not make it as well as my grandmother did, because, they were better cooks than we are today, in my opinion. That's something we let them take with them, is their recipe on how to make things from scratch. So I'm going to take my remaining pie crust. I'm going to put this over the top. Some people put strips. Probably would have been easier to do the strips. Oh dear. Okay. But I am going to put the pie crust in there. We'll move it over a little bit. And then you're going to have to put a little holes in it, in the pie crust, so that it can come through. And okay, here's my knife. So I'm going to just put little holes in the top. I like a lot of crust, so that's why I'm putting this pie crust instead of, making it look like little crosses over it. I'm going to just do it this way. Okay. And then after I put the holes in there, I'm going to spray the top of my crust. I use pan, a little butter flavored pan, or you can use butter, regular butter, and put on top. That's to give it that little brown, crusty topping. And like I said, the oven is at 350. Put it in there about 40 minutes. And once it comes out, I will return to show you what it looks like. Okay, everyone, this is the result of my Blackberry Cobbler, and I have cut a piece, letting it cool off so that I can maybe eat it with a little bit of ice cream. It is a great Sunday dinner. And like I said before, this is the first time I've ever made a Blackberry cobbler. The only thing that I have to suggest to myself is that I made too much sugar, put a little bit too much sugar. And if you're a person that likes seeds, well, this is, a little seedy for me. But other than that, I hope that you enjoyed the video. Thank you.